are you? Who are you?
Hello?
Hello. This is Helly. And she has no idea who she is. She has no idea where she is. She has no idea how she got here. And she has no memories. But she was just asked a very important question. Who are you? And this show tries to answer that question. And I'm going to tell you why you should watch it. This is If you have not seen this show, then congrats, this video is for you. Keep in mind that all the stuff in this video is spoiler free, so let's jump right in. The concept of this show is that there is a company called Lumen that has a program where you can separate your work life from your home life, and what this means is that you separate your work memories from your outside of work memories. So the person at work, once you quote unquote sever, they are always at work. And the outie, the outside you, is only living outside of work. So the outside you has no idea what's going on at work, and the work you has no idea what's going on outside of work. The way this works in the show is you get a chip put in your head, and then you work on a special floor of the building of Lumen Industries. And we see how Lumen operates through pretty much 4 characters. You got Mark, Irving, and Dylan, and then Helly, who's a new hire. Mark, Irving, and Dylan have been working here for a little while, and so they have some experience, but Helly is brand new, and she is our view into what it's like when you first do this procedure and when you first start working for Lumen being severed. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 big things: the characters, the mystery of Lumen, and what makes you, you. So the show has a lot of characters, but I'm going to focus on Mark, Helly, Irving, Dylan, and Miss Cobell, who is Mark's boss. There's also Rickon, who is the best character, but I'll let you guys watch the show and love him yourselves. So, the characters. Mark is the main character of the show, and when we jump in, he is the head of his department called Macro Data Refinement, also called MDR. And Mark Zinni is our personality, wants to mostly do things by the book, but as time goes on, he gets this growing suspicion of what it is that Lumen does and what his own department does, because they don't know. Meanwhile, Mark's outie carries a lot of grief with him, and this is why he chose to sever in the first place, and his outie relentlessly defends this choice to other people outside of work. This is mainly because he escapes the pain, at least he thinks so, of this grief, of this event that happened to him, and he escapes it by going to work and being severed. Meanwhile, the outie him, who is the only one that actually can recall this event, still has to live with it. But he would rather have half of his day, or most of his day, not dealing with it than all of his day. So he decides to sever. The second main character is Helly, and as I said earlier, she is this new hire. But she is the opposite of Mark, in that her character is very rebellious and very curious in nature, and she does not really want to take anybody's crap, and she wants to figure things out on her own, and she really wants to figure out what is going on. But her outie for some reason, refuses to let her do anything that she really wants to. Then we have Irving and Dylan, and these guys are mostly side characters, but they still play a really big role in the show. So Irving, he's a guy that is pretty much an older version and a sterner version of Mark in terms of how they should do things at work, because he knows the policies and the procedures of Lumen like the back of his hand. It's like a scripture to him, like the Bible. Meanwhile, Dylan is very sarcastic, but he does really enjoy the perks that come with doing the job well. But he also has this deep interest in what his Audi is like. Miss Cobell is Mark's strict, stern boss, and throughout the show, she exhibits these very strange behaviors because we don't know what it is she wants, or why she treats Mark the very specific way that she does. Now, there are a lot more characters, but pretty much all of them have this mystery about them. Mostly except for Mark, because we already know so much about him, but most characters besides him, we really have to learn more about them as the show goes on. And that brings us to our next topic, the mystery of Lumen. One of the big pulls of this show is the questions that this mystery presents. And these are, what does Lumen as a company do? And why are they so similar to a cult? And how far does Lumen's reach and influence actually go? But there's also, what is MDR? What is Mark's department doing? What do the numbers mean that they are supposedly refining? And whatever MDR is doing, what is their impact on the outside world, if there is any? Is it just for Lumen, or is what they do so top secret that they have to be severed, and because it's so important to what's going on outside of the workplace? And why is their department kept separate from the others? What event happened that made it this way? Then there's, how many departments are there? What do they do, and how do they tie in to MDR? How does their work tie into Mark and his team's work? So many things in this show are mysterious and go unanswered for the most part, at least at first. Because slowly, the curtain is pulled back and we get these clues as to what is going on, how important every choice is, how important Mark's work is, how important Lumen is to the world. And nothing is spoon-fed because nothing is ever up front. The show forces viewers to do some thinking on their own and piece these really small details together. At face value, that's what the show is about. But really, it's about this. What makes you, you? Who are you? With Mark, one of the biggest questions is trying to erase grief a real solution to overcoming it? And do we carry the weight of life's events with us, even when we don't even think about them? And what about permanent change? If you forgot a major life event that happened to you, would you be the same person that you were before it happened? Or are you forever different, even though you have no clue what it was that happened to you? With Helly, though, the questions are different about who you are and what makes you, you. Are people just products of what they've seen and what they've experienced? And do the people that you surround yourself with make you who you are? Or is there a baseline you? Are you born as a certain someone and life events only branch off, making slight adjustments from who you were at first? Is there any permanent change? Or was this who you always were? These are all questions that the show proposes, but they don't give clear answers because life is not that simple. And the show is not trying to give you a straight answer, but it is showing you the different routes that somebody can go, because maybe there is more than one answer. Nothing is black and white, everything is gray. If you have not seen this show, go and watch it because you're missing out. And if you do watch it, come back and let me know what you thought of it. Thanks for watching.